Educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
Char Margolis, Char Communications Incorporated, and CharVision LLC do not endorse or offer for any purpose but entertainment the views of any guest or other expert on CharVision or UBN.
I knew things before they happened from the time I was a child. At the age of 8, I saw a spirit at the foot of my bed and didn't know what it was. And in my 20s, I finally realized I had a special ability that could help others. I have learned that love never dies. There is a spirit world that can communicate with us, and we all have the gift of intuition. Join me, and together we will explore the possibilities of the unknown from beyond and more. This is CharVision. Hi, everybody. I need to address the tragedies that is happening in France. It's been called a state of emergency. All their borders have been closed. There's been a curfew for the first time since World War II. It's devastating. There's 158 people as of this date, as of this time. We're on 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, November 13th. Oh, no, that's right, Pacific Time. Sorry, 2015. Just in case you see this on YouTube. I don't want you to get scared. But it is happening now. And there were 2 suicide bombers at a soccer game, and we don't have the results of what's happened there. And there's also a concert by a rock, I don't know the band's name, but they were from Palm Desert or Indio, California. And 158 people were hurt there, and 158 people died, and dozens more have been injured. We just don't have the exact statistics. I have no words. My heart goes out to each and every soul, each and every person, their families. This is a time where all of us accumulatively can send a prayer out to the people in France and all their family, and send a white light of protection around them. And if we can just take a second believe me, prayer works. And for those who are just passing over to the other side, we call on their guardian angels to greet them in the white light. And this is just another wake-up call of what's going on in our world with terrorism, which I predicted in 1999 that in the new millennium there would be terrorism in our country. And I feel that we need to be careful at our concerts. I'm not saying every concert, but our security needs to be beefed up, and especially at sports games. It just doesn't sit right with me. All right. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of CharVision. It means the world to me. And today I have a wonderful, talented guest. Her name is Cynthia Richmond, and I've known Cynthia for a while now. She is a dream expert, and she's been on every talk show, Oprah and the Today Show and Dr. Phil and the doctors and just name it, she's been on it. And I'm so honored to have her with us today. And Cynthia, can you hear me?
I can, Char.
Okay. Well, it's just so great to see you.
Well, it's great to see you, and congratulations on your show. And, I love you so much.
Thank you. I love you, too. Now, because we're talking about these terrorist attacks,
yeah,
can you help us understand in our dreams if we're being tipped off about something like this?
Oh, definitely. Many people will have intuitive dreams before something like this happens, whether it's their guardian angel, as you just mentioned, or higher self, or whatever source. We have many different dream sources, as you know, warning them to stay away from a certain thing. We've all had the intuition, take another way driving home that day, or whatever, whatever. So we definitely have dreams and intuitions that can protect us and guide us when there's these types of things. The other piece of it, though, is the aftermath, because people who've witnessed something or lost someone can then dream and have nightmares and feel, did I not do enough? Could I have protected my loved one? They may have seen things just as soldiers in war do that are just so horrific. So unexpected, out of the blue. That's the part of it, and so then those images and feelings seep into the dream state. And so if someone is having nightmares in the days to come, a lot of times I've been brought in to counsel people at school shootings and things like that, where people don't want to go to sleep because they don't want to have to relive what happened. So in the days that come, is the best remedy for that is to talk it out. Get someone who you trust you can talk and share your feelings with, and release it from your subconscious so you don't have to rerun it in your nighttime dreamscape.
How are there any symbols that we may dream on our own that will maybe try to help us prevent from being in a problem or in a difficult situation like that?
Yes.
Or
I think
tragic situation like that, I should say.
Yeah. It's interesting, but when bin Laden was planning the Twin Tower disaster, many people reported having dreams about planes hitting buildings. People didn't know that it was going to happen, but they had dreams about it. When Princess Diana was murdered, however that happened exactly, people had dreams that about that death, and they would see, for example, the dream might be that it was, remember her beautiful gown, and we all stayed up late to watch her beautiful wedding, and people saw a procession, like a funeral procession, but with white horses and a white casket and her gown and things like that. I mean, cameramen came up and told me that they had that before she died. So yes, we're all very receptive, and a lot has to do with string theory. Time is all happening at the same time, and
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating, but how can we be more aware of our dreams to prevent problems in our lives? And
Okay.
and I guess it's a two-part question, because how do we know if something's psychological or something's prophetic?
Yes. Great question, Ms. Char. So prophetic dreams, and most of us have had them. About 12% of all dreams are prophetic or do predict the future in some way. Typically, they predict the future in our own lives, so we might dream that Uncle Edgar's going to pass, we might pick up something like that.
Yeah.
But also people dream about life and earth changes. And so prophetic dreams feel different for most people than the standard dream. They might have more of the senses associated, so smell as a symbol in the dream, taste, and all of it, all the senses. So that's part of it. And very often they just feel different. It's almost like when a news broadcast interrupts our TV show with a statement, this just in, it kind of feels like that. So there's that.
So there's an energy of be aware.
Yes.
And we're woken up, or it's, because some dreams we don't remember.
Truly, most dreams we don't remember. And most of us have to make an effort to remember our dreams. But generally, if our subconscious mind or higher self wants us to remember a dream because it's important to us, it'll be the last dream we have before we wake up in the morning, and we'll bring that one out with us. Very good idea to write that down, because they do tend to be fleeting even when they're that important.
There have been times where I've taken a nap. And I knew I was supposed to take a nap because I was supposed to dream about something, and I would have a visitation from a loved one on the other side.
I know. I love that so much. I mean, I didn't know that about you personally.
Does
but
that
yes,
happen to you?
It's happened to me. Absolutely, it's happened to me, and it's happened to lots of people. And scientists are now sleep researchers, and scientists say that we dream about every 90 minutes when the rapid eye movement or REM sleep period starts. But anybody who's had a 20-minute nap and had a dream like you have and I have knows that we dream anytime we're asleep.
Mm-hmm.
It's fair access for our dream source to deliver whatever messages or connections or visitations are in our best interest at that time.
Well, it's true because so much goes on, and when we're woken up like at 3 in the morning or 2 in the morning, that's when I get a lot of intuitive messages for myself or for other people.
Yeah. A lot of people say that, Wayne Dyer, who was one of my gurus and who I corresponded with for many, many years, said the same thing. It was a specific time in the night, 3 something, 3:14 or something. We're not distracted by conscious mind and by other things, phone, TV, computer. So a lot of times we get our most important downloads from spirit, from source in the sleep. And, we wake up, and that's why I just really encourage people to have a journal or a blank book or a pad by your bed and jot those things down. Can't even tell you how many inventions and warnings and beautiful things come to people, and they drift off before they've taken note of them.
My dad used to dream numbers.
Did he?
And then he'd bet them and win. And he would never keep the money. He always gave it to me or my sisters or my mom.
Oh, what a sweet guy. When I wrote for the LA Times, a man wrote to me and he said that he liked the horses and he bet on jockeys and horse names, and he would dream the whole thing. He would win money. I don't know if he kept the money or gave it to charity, but it's kind of fun that we have that possibility.
Yeah, we do, because it's almost like in the spirit world, when I'm communicating with spirits, sometimes the veil is thinner than other times, and sometimes it's thicker. Lately, though, and I don't know if this is an astrological thing, it's so much thinner.
Wow.
It's so much easier to connect to the other side. So I'm thinking, if that energy is available intuitively, it must be available for us in our dreams as well, because the only time sometimes my guides can get to me is when I am sleeping, because I'm so busy all day long doing whatever it is I'm doing.
I know 100% exactly what you're saying, and I think you're exactly right. There are times when, and I like to describe it because it's easy for people to realize that they might not be able to picture a veil between the spirit world and the physical, but if you're tuning in a radio and you're just a tiny bit off on that frequency, you're not going to get a clear signal. But when you've got it clear and your antenna's working and you get that download, and it's so right there. Yeah. I've had those moments myself with people, and it's really exciting to feel that connected to spirit and all that is.
And do you believe that we can literally travel in our dreams?
We do. We definitely travel in our dreams, and Char, every culture throughout history has had different ways of describing that, whether it was Egyptian and, Aboriginal or Native American. They talk about visiting ancestors, getting advice, getting answers. So even little children, in fact, maybe mostly little children, because they don't doubt it, will have dreams where they are, we call it astral projecting it here at this time, where they're floating above their backyard and they see into the neighbor's yard and they see the dogs out and they see things that they tell, their parents about the next day. So our spirit doesn't need the rest that our body does. And so the thought is that our spirit gets freed to do balancing and energy on spirit level.
Do you think that when people have a near-death experience, it's also like an astral flight?
I do. I think that a near-death experience is a beautiful opportunity for a glimpse into the next world or spirit world or the other side of the veil, or whatever we want to use word-wise to describe it. Today I was at a workshop all day long, and it was on mental first aid. So we all took first aid and Girl Scouts and stuff, a lot of us when we were kids. And this was first aid for mental caregivers. It was really powerful. And the woman sitting behind me was a police officer, 28 years on the force. And she said to me, "Oh, you do dreams?" She said, "My 13-year-old daughter was sleeping in my bed because she wasn't feeling well. And in her sleep, she talks. And this night, she was talking in perfect Chinese."
Okay, that's crazy.
Yes, Char?
That's crazy.
Crazy. Girl's never been to China, has not studied the language, but she was speaking, and the mother said, I don't speak Chinese either, but it sounded exactly perfect. She could tell. So, what is that? So, can we cross through time? Can we cross
Mm-hmm.
through our previous lifetimes? People who believe in reincarnation, I do. Um, I think the sleep state gives us access to all of that, that conscious life, for some of us, kind of blocks or prevents or makes the veil thicker.
Yeah, because when we're awake, we're too busy and distracted.
Yes.
We're not as pure. It's like little kids will blurt out psychic things
Yeah.
because they're not worried about the water bill or
Or being judged.
or whatever it is. So,
Right.
and what are some of the more interesting, challenging cases you've worked on?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I had one in New York City where this man had a recurring dream. He was down in the basement. It was a cylinder block, bare basement. And his father and mother and other people were there, and they were up against the wall. And there was a man there with a machine gun, and it was a recurring nightmare. And he asked me what it meant. And it sounded to me so real and felt to me. And excuse me, as I continued questioning him, it turned out his father probably had a mob loan. He had a butcher shop in New York, and that probably happened. But it was a little fragment of a memory that the child held onto for reasons for healing and for processing later. But he made it into a dream instead of an actual memory.
Are there other reasons why we have repeated dreams over and over and over again?
Yes.
Why?
So the two reasons are, one is you're now going through the same thing again from the first time you had the dream or another time you had the dream, and your subconscious mind or your high self wants to remind you, okay, we've been here before, we've done this, you don't have to do this lesson again. Or the message that is being sent to you from dream source is not being interpreted properly. You haven't figured out the meaning, and so it will keep, it's like an email you never open, it will keep trying to deliver it, change it up a little, get your attention in some way so that you do get this important message.
Well, why is it that sometimes when we're dreaming, we go, boy, I'm having this dream again, but then when we wake up, we don't remember that?
We do not. And it's just is what it is. We do not remember most of our dreams. It's part of consciousness. However, we can remember, and we can learn to remember. And if you're ever in a period of life where it's extremely important to you to connect with dreams, if you wake yourself up every 90 minutes, and I've had people who did this, I don't recommend it very often, but occasionally, if you're really intent on it, wake yourself up every 90 minutes and write down, because you will be in a REM sleep period, and you can write down that dream and then kind of congeal all of them the next morning and see what messages you were getting.
So what you explained about nightmares is, what do they mean exactly?
Nightmares are probably our most important dreams, and they're the dreams people don't want to remember the most because they can be very unsettling and very frightening, but they typically represent something that is pressuring us or a fear that we're having. The most common one is that someone is chasing us and we can't see the face, but it's gaining on us, never quite catches us, and we maybe have trouble running or trouble screaming. And that typically represents something that's going on in our life where it could be an addiction that's chasing us, but not quite caught up with us. A deadline can be chasing us, that type of thing. So it's a pressure, it's stress, it's anxiety, and depression all come out in our nightmares.
For years, I had a dream that they took away my college degree because I flunked which I really did in high school.
That's the type of thing. So you feel like a little bit of not authentic or a little bit of not worthy or a little bit. It's the way our anxiety shows
I guess
up.
it's how we psychologically cope with certain things and our old fears as well. I could sit and talk to you forever, and I would love for people to learn how to interpret their dreams. And this must be in your book. So how do people get a hold of you?
Well, you can get a hold of me. You can email me, Cynthia@dreampower.net, or go to my website, which is dreampower.net. Send me a message, and maybe I'll interpret your dream on my blog. Or if you'd like to make an appointment, I'd love to work with people
Okay.
personally.
Okay, so you do private
Yes.
private sessions, and you counsel people.
Yes.
Okay, so give us your website again.
Dreampower.net.
Dreampower.net. Wow. Okay. Well, that is one. It's so good to see you.
It's great to see you.
And I hope you can. You will come back. Will you come back? I would love for you to be a guest again on the show.
I would love to come back, and next time I'm in LA, I'll let you know in advance. Maybe we can do it in person. That'd be great.
Oh, I would love that. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Char. Blessings.
Okay. Blessings to you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
everybody, don't go away. I've got an amazing healer on. You really need to stay because this can help you. If you like what you've seen on CharVision, then go to char.net and book a personal reading with me, or join a group reading, or join one of my workshops where I teach you to be psychic and intuitive. Welcome back, everybody. I am so excited because my dear friend is coming up for me to interview. His name is Dr. David Brownstein. He is a board-certified physician, family physician, and an expert in alternative medicine. He writes many books. He has helped me tremendously, along with his partner, Jeffrey Nussbaum and Richard Ng. And anyway, they have a fantastic business, or what is it, practice, really, in West Bloomfield, Michigan. And David is a trailblazer in what he does. I know no one like him. And I'm just so proud to have you on my show, David. Welcome to, I'm thrilled you're on CharVision.
Thank you for having me, Char.
Yeah, of course. So what made a medical doctor, physician, decide to go into alternative medicine?
Well, I certainly didn't start out that way. I started off wanting to become a conventional modeled after my family doctor. And that's what I began doing when I finished with my training.
Right.
And shortly into practicing conventional medicine, I began to get a feeling that I wasn't quite sure why I was having. Started to develop some anxiety about going to work. And it was about 6 months into practice. I remember vividly getting up, getting ready to go to work, and blurting out to my wife, Allison, I don't want to be a doctor anymore. Now,
Wow.
She wasn't happy with that. We had $90,000 in student loans.
Whoa.
And to do in my life was be a family doctor. And she said to me, what are you going to do about it? And at that point, I didn't really know. But I knew that I was unhappy prescribing medications that weren't treating the underlying cause of someone's problem. And I was prescribing more medications to treat the side effects from those previous medications. And most importantly, my patients just weren't getting better. And I really didn't have anything in my toolbox that I thought could help the majority of these patients and satisfy me for practicing medicine for the next 30 to 40. Well, around that time, a patient had given me a book, Healing with Nutrition, by an allopathic physician, Dr. Jonathan Wright. And I remember taking the book home and reading the chapter on cardiovascular disease. And the reason I focused on that chapter was my father was very ill with heart disease at that time. In fact, I was just waiting for the phone call that something terrible had happened, because he had his first heart attack at age 40.
At age what? At age 40?
Age 40.
Uh-huh.
And his second heart attack at age 42. Over the intervening years, he had surgeries and angioplasties, and he was on about 12 different medications to control his blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes. And most importantly, he just looked awful. He looked like he was going to die at any moment.
Wow.
Reading that chapter provided information that I wasn't taught in medical school. Mm-hmm. And I remember calling my dad in the office and asking him to get some blood work. Got the blood work back. I put my dad on two things. I put him on natural thyroid hormone and natural testosterone. And the results were remarkable. Within 7 days, his cholesterol level fell below 300 without changing any of his habits. Within a week, his 25-year history of angina went away, never to return. Wow. He looked better. He acted better. He lost that gray, pasty look in his face. And I was no longer worried about getting a terrible phone call at any point. The changes in my dad, I quickly decided that's what I wanted to do in medicine. And I began researching and studying natural therapy, and that takes me
Okay, wait,
forward
you
to
just broke
our
up. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
The Skype isn't completely working. You did what with natural medicine?
So once I saw the changes in my dad, I knew that's what I wanted to do medicine, and just really started researching and studying that.
Studying natural medicine and alternative healing.
Oh yeah, natural therapy. Apparently, those are alternative therapies. They weren't taught in medical school.
Right.
And I began researching natural hormones and vitamins and minerals, and all the therapies that really support the body and don't just block things and poison things like most drugs do.
Right. Well, I know that I just have to explain to the audience. Elisa and the engineer John are freaking out because the Skype isn't working completely well, but I know why. It's because I know that my energy sometimes makes electricity go crazy, and David's energy, he is such an amazing healer, and he's got such a powerful energy that it does make things like Skype and telephone calls and computers sometimes make havoc. So I just want you to know at home, whatever happens, I'm going to help repeat it so we can get through this interview, because this is so important to me. Okay, now, so David, so you started your dad on thyroid. I mean, you put me on thyroid too. But can you hear me?
Sure.
Okay, but even though maybe the normal thyroid tests say you don't need thyroid, but maybe everybody needs a little bit, how does that work?
So I was taught in medical school that you check up blood tests for thyroid at TSH level, and if that was abnormal, someone may need thyroid hormone. And if that test is in the reference range, they don't need thyroid hormone. Well, I can tell you after 20 plus years of seeing patients, what I was taught was incorrect. The blood tests aren't 100% accurate. And
Wait,
you really,
okay, which tests are not 100% accurate?
the thyroid tests aren't 100% accurate.
They aren't.
And doctors really need to go back to treating people and not just treating tests. And the diagnosis of a thyroid problem in the past was done by a clinical diagnosis. You would talk to patients, you would do a physical exam, and then you would make a decision on, do they have a problem or not. Now
Right.
that's all gone. It's basically just one test and that's it. The problem is the test isn't the most accurate, and really need to recognize that and treat people and tests.
And what people in tests?
We need to treat people
Treat
and not
people.
just treat tests.
And not treat tests. That's profound. You need to treat people and not just treat tests. That's profound. And okay, so what have you found as a result of people getting their thyroids balanced?
Well, the thyroid sits in the lower part of our neck right about here, and it produces about a teaspoon of thyroid hormone that has to drive the metabolic rate of every cell in our body 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's responsible for producing energy in the cells, for proper brain function, proper neurologic function, for muscle function, for everything. We can't function without it. So little variation in that teaspoon of thyroid hormone have big effect.
Okay, say that last thing again. Literally what?
So little variations in thyroid hormone have big effect.
Have a big effect on people.
Absolutely.
And
so that's what doctors need to realize. And once they realize that, they'll realize that the reference ranges aren't the end-all, tell-all for thyroid. It's really, we need to treat people, not the reference ranges.
I know there are a lot of conventional doctors that are studying your work and learning to be open-minded about alternative therapies. Now, I know you also wrote a book about iodine. What is it? You can't live without it? What is the name of it?
It's iodine. Why you can't live without it. I'm sorry. It's iodine. Why you need it. Why you can't live without it.
Yeah. And okay, now I'm on that too. So I feel great, by the way. But what does the iodine do?
So just as every cell our thyroid hormone, every single cell needs and requires iodine. We
Okay,
can't function
wait.
without
You
iodine.
got to. I'm so sorry. Repeat yourself again. Like every.
So just as every cell in the body needs thyroid hormone, every
Right.
cell in the body needs iodine. We can't live without iodine. Unfortunately, across the United States over the last 40 years, levels have fallen over 60%. And we've suffered graveness for that. And the consequences include the breast cancer epidemic affecting 1 in 7 women, the prostate cancer epidemic affecting 1 in 3 men, epidemic of other hormone sensitive cancers like thyroid, ovary, uterus, pancreas, all occurring at epidemic rates. And I say this is all related to this iodine deficiency epidemic that's affecting our country.
Wow. You know, that's incredible. And so also you're a big believer in Celtic sea salt.
Absolutely, Char.
And I know that it's helped me when I've had cramps. Like I know that you've said take a teaspoon of it and the cramp will go away, and it really does.
The number one, if anyone has leg cramps or cramps of any sort, it's a salt deficiency, period.
And what is the difference between table salt and Celtic sea salt?
Well, I have a book called Salt Your Way to Health because I've been using as an effective therapy in my practice. The item in our body next to water is salt, and we have grams of salt in our body at any one time.
Wait,
we don't
and we
have
have
any
what
stores
of salt in our body
salt.
at any one time?
We have over 100 grams of salt in our body at any time.
Wow.
We need to replenish salt on a daily basis, and sadly, most Americans are lacking in salt. And I can tell you that because of these salt levels in their blood work. And
Oh wait. Oh, so you
50%
can wait. So you measure people's salt in their blood work.
I measure them, and I can tell you over 90% of people don't get enough salt in their diet.
Wow. Okay. So, okay, but they just should not go to table salt. They need to get Celtic sea salt, the gray Celtic sea salt, right?
You've learned well, Char.
Yeah, and you don't grind it. I mean, you grind it yourself, but you don't buy the one that's already ground because it's not as strong, right?
You got it. So salt can be refined, and you want the unrefined salt, 80 minerals in it, whereas the refined salt has no minerals in it. And Celtic brand sea salt is a good version of it. Redmond's real salt is another good version. Himalayan salt, another good unrefined salt.
What was the last thing?
Himalayan salt.
Oh, Himalayan. Okay. Okay. What about kosher salt? Is that good?
Kosher salt is a refined salt. It's had all the minerals removed.
Oh, okay.
That wouldn't be one that I would recommend.
And if a lot of people lack energy, a lot of people are tired all the time, or a lot of people can't sleep. If there was like one thing that you could give advice for, what would you suggest to people?
Well, certainly, Char, the number one complaint I hear on a daily basis is people are fatigued. They're just tired, and they're actually tired of being tired. So I guess if there's one thing that I could tell people, it's to clean up their diet. And, you know, the old saying, garbage in, garbage out holds true.
Right.
And if you put lousy food in your body, don't expect to feel well and don't expect to have energy. So you need to eat unrefined food that hasn't been processed, a full complement of vitamins and minerals in it, doesn't have hormones, and it doesn't have pesticides on it, and it supplies our body with what it needs to function optimally.
So
that would be the number one thing I would tell people.
Diet is key.
Absolutely.
Okay, so, all right. You know what? There's so many things that I know you have to teach us, and I'm sorry we don't have the time to do this today, but I would love for you to come in the studio one time if you would, in Los Angeles with me, so we can really sit down for a whole hour and talk about all the things that you want to talk about, and that you can teach all of us about staying healthy and feeling good. Because honestly, until I started going to you guys, I feel better now than when I was 30 years old. And you know, the other thing I have to say is also Jeffrey Fanish helped me as well. The
You know,
card.
Char,
Yeah.
you look great and you
Thank
take care
you.
of yourself and you're a good role model for the rest of us.
Oh, thank you. Well, David, I wish you well. I'm going to see you soon. And will you come back?
Of course, I'll.
Okay. I just want people to be able to get your books because your books are incredible, and they have all the knowledge people need to know about this. And what is your website?
So then get the books at www.drbrownstein.com, drbrownstein.com.
Okay, and it's at the bottom of the screen, right? Okay, well, it's a joy to talk to you, and I miss you, and I look forward to seeing you soon. And thank you for all that you've done for me, all that you've done for my family, and I can't wait till you come visit me out in Los Angeles.
Thanks, Char. I love you.
I love you too, honey. Bye-bye. Maris!
Hello.
Hi, sweetheart. Thank you for doing this.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Of course, it's my pleasure. Okay, I just need to explain my process, and then I'll do my very best to help you help yourself.
Great.
Okay, so what I do is truly a creative process. And even though information that I get gets emotional or surprising, it's in this creative way of thinking that I get my messages. So I just need you to be open-minded about everybody, both living and deceased. See, I know when people call me, they usually have an agenda and they, excuse me, and they try to produce their own readings, and they either have spirits they want to talk to, loved ones, or they have questions about their lives. And I get that, but sometimes there's a process to getting there, and sometimes there's things you need to know that you don't realize you need to know. Like yesterday I read for a woman, and I picked up on her old boyfriend who had passed away, and she never expected to have had him. She didn't even have him on the list. So if you can just be open about everybody living and deceased, that will help me. Okay, sweetie?
Sure.
Okay. I always say my prayer of protection before I work, so I'm just going to do that, and we're going to start. We ask the universal consciousness that holds the highest spiritual power of knowledge, wisdom, and truth to guide and protect us as we communicate with our guides and angels in the spirit world and tap into the wisdom of the universe. We respect this opportunity and take full responsibility to use this not for ego or controlling others, but with the pure intention of spreading love and healing life on this earth and beyond. Okay, I see somebody who's like a Margaret or a Mary or a Marjorie or Mary or Margaret or something like this. Is that somebody family to you?
Yes.
Is that who is that? Your grandma, your mom? Who is that?
Mary is my stepmother.
Your stepmother. Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
heard mother. Okay, and is she living then?
Yes.
Have you had some issues with her? Like health issues?
No, I mean, not, she's
Not serious. Do you know if she was put on some kind of medicine or has to balance something right now?
I mean, other than her, her weight, like,
Okay, all I know is that I'm not allowed to give out medical advice, but I see that she may have to go on some medicine or balance something, but I feel like they can control it, whatever this is. And do you know Donald or Daniel?
I know two, a Donald and a Daniel.
Who is this?
They're friends.
Just friends.
Yes.
Who's the other D? Is there a David?
No.
But what do you work with Donald or Daniel, or how do you know them?
I used to work with Donald. And
Okay,
Daniel's
you used to
a
work
friend.
with Donald. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go to the past to get to the present to get to the future. So, are you considering working again or going back to work or?
Eventually, once I have some
Okay.
things I need to handle, yeah, but
Yeah,
eventually,
okay.
yes.
Because, and would you go to a new place? A different place?
Probably, or from home, yeah.
Okay, because I see you working again, and I see. Did you want to start your own business?
Yes, that was
Okay,
it.
I see new business or new work coming for you.
Oh, great.
So I feel like you need to embrace it and embrace it. And where is who is, it's like Joseph or James or John, I don't know, J or G.
I have my brother's Jonathan.
Jonathan, okay, and he's living, right?
Yes.
Did you have a J deceased? Or
No,
did you,
my dad's grandpa, but that was
he a John or Joseph?
a John. Yeah, John.
I feel like his spirits around here, even though you may not have known him well, people will pop in. That
Wow.
maybe he's been in heaven longer, so he can communicate better. I don't know.
Wow.
And where's A? A, like Annie or middle name Ann?
I don't have.
Do you have a mother-in-law?
She's not alive anymore, but yeah.
Is there an A with her name?
No.
Or a middle name A, or who's
no.
Ann? Why would she tell me about Ann then?
Ann.
Did she have a sister, a mother? Do you know your husband's family?
Yeah, no Ann.
Yeah, there's somebody else. There's an M or an A. In your
her name's Mary as well.
Mary, okay. That's the other Mary I'm getting. Okay, and there's also an Ann connected to her. You may not know her.
Okay.
But your mother-in-law's here. She visits your child. She keeps an eye on your child. And somebody had cancer.
She did.
Yeah. Okay. So she had cancer, and so she's happy to be out of her body, of course, but she definitely has an eye on your child, and what she's saying, you've done some work to your house, or you want to do some work to your house.
Yeah, I mean, so far it's just been a little superficial, but we've done a lot of things to get ready for the baby.
Okay, so you've redone some of the house.
Yeah.
Okay, so she knows about it. Do you have anything that has to do with clouds or rainbows or stars or?
You mean in the house?
Yeah, like artwork or.
Yeah.
Why is she showing me this? Is this in the baby's room, or is this just in your house?
No, there's a painting we did for a friend that was having some challenges with sobriety that has rainbows and things on it.
Okay, is your friend still living?
Yeah.
Are they sober now?
Yep.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's acknowledging the thing with the rainbows and the stars and the. I guess you must have helped that person.
Oh, great.
Big time. Is that true?
Mhm.
I'm hearing Suzanne or Susan.
That's my aunt.
Is that your mom's sister?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's living, right?
Yeah.
Did she have cancer too?
No.
Okay. Was she ill?
Very ill. She's really sick right now.
Yeah, because your mom's saying that they really need to watch her health and try to prevent the. Your mom's watching over Susan. Would you tell Susan that?
Sure.
Is she in another state or in a different place than you are?
She lives in, I think, Stockton.
I don't know where any of these places are, but
it's in just south of Sacramento.
Okay, so she wants her to have a better attitude. Maybe she's got a bad attitude, or maybe she's pessimistic or something. I don't know. Something doesn't seem right. Her attitude needs to be better.
Yeah. That sounds right.
She just needs more optimism, and your mom wants her to know that she's not alone. I think she feels alone. And is there an R or W with your mom's side?
No.
Or an R or B or R or D?
Her maiden name is Basinger.
Is a B.
Yeah,
right.
And her middle name is Darlene.
Don't say names.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
I just feel like you feel gypped because your mom wasn't here with the baby. Or that your mom's not here with your child.
My mom is. My husband's mom isn't.
Okay, then your mother-in-law. I think like she wishes she was here with the baby.
That would be great.
The one that had cancer.
Yeah.
But she wants you to tell your husband that she is here and she does view what goes on. And okay, so you're wanting to start your own company then?
Yes.
And have you already planted the seeds for this or planned it out?
Yes.
And are you planning to do this more online then?
A fair amount, yes.
I feel like you're gonna be going somewhere though, like doing some traveling. Like I don't know if you're going to traveling for a seminar or a workshop or.
That would definitely be part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I see that there's opportunity for you to make this into something.
That's great.
Yeah, but were you going to do work for someone and do this?
No.
You just want to do this?
Yeah.
Are you talking about getting pregnant again?
I now that I've had my first child, I want another one, but physically I don't think I can handle it with my back, but I would like to have another baby. Yeah.
I kind of feel like there's another child that's going to come.
I would love it.
Why do you say physically? Because of your back? What's wrong with your back?
Oh, I got hurt really bad at work last year, and my pregnancy was very, very difficult because of it, and it's still. That's why I haven't gone back to work yet, because I can hardly walk, and a lot of times.
What do you do? You don't want to operate on this, right?
That's ultimately what they're gonna have to do, but because my son's so young, it's hard to do that right now. You know what?
I'm not allowed to give out medical advice.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a doctor, but I feel like you need to wait until your weight's off and do you stretch? Do you exercise?
Yeah, as much as I can I walk, but that's
walk?
about the
Okay.
that's the extent of it.
Was there an issue about an animal? Did you lose an animal?
Yeah, a year ago we lost
a
our
year
dog.
ago. What, you lost a dog? Or a cat?
A dog.
A dog. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And is there a B with the dog? A B or an R with the dog?
No.
Or is there an S or C?
C.
Starts with C?
Yes.
CH?
No.
Or just starts with C?
Starts with C, yes.
And in that name, is there an N in it?
No.
Or an R?
No.
But it starts with C. It's
Yes.
not like Coco or...
No.
But it's C. Okay,
Yes.
I don't know the name, but I feel like the dog is here.
Oh, good.
I'm just not hearing the name right. Were you unsure what to do with the dog? Did you cremate the dog?
We did, yeah.
And do you still have the dog's remains?
Yes.
Are you unsure what to do with the dog's remains?
No, it's a little bit. It was my husband's dog with his ex, so they're fighting over the dog's remains. It's really silly.
Yeah, I can see that. The dog doesn't really care. But if they want to split them up, that's okay too. Because the dog animals just want peace and happiness and love. But
right.
Yeah, I see the issue with the dog's remains, which is really stupid, but maybe she tries to find anything to fight about or cause issues with.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
All right. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you.
It's really lovely to connect with your energy, and thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks. You too, dear.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye. Hey everybody! You probably think I only do individual readings, but sometimes I get a message for everybody. And I wrote a poem that was channeled through me, and I'd like to read it to you. It's called Until We Meet Again by Char Margolis, a message from heaven. My work is done, it's time to leave. Know that I am also missing you as you grieve. I completed my karma on the earth, and now it is time for my rebirth. I'm flying with eagles and dancing on stars. Please know that I haven't gone far. The love we have will carry us through until the day I am again with you. What an amazing journey this passing over can be. I am in good company. I know you hurt, but please trust me. Our journey together is for eternity. So until the day our souls reunite, stay peaceful and well, and use your spirit's sight. I will bring you signs from up above, a butterfly, a bird, my sign of love. Don't worry about me. I'm in good hands. Stay strong, stay positive, and continue to pray. When it is your natural day to graduate from the earth, look for me in the bright white light. We have completed our purpose, and all will be right. This is handmade. It's signed by me. It's an affordable gift for any occasion. Just go to char.net and click on store. Thank you so much for being here tonight with me. Let's say another prayer for all the people in France. And I pray that all of you stay in the white light and that we all will be protected, and see you next week on CharVision.